everybody. Welcome back to the Gilded Ages podcast. I'm your host, Hosty McHostface, and I am here with a prestigious guest, world-renowned, I don't know about world-renowned, but he worked for someone world-renowned, and we're just going to learn some insight about a time gone by. So, who do I have the pleasure of speaking with?
Richard John Dick Grayson.
Richard John Dick Grayson. Well, Mr. Grayson, what do we owe the pleasure?
I'm a associate in the JP Morgan banking company. I'm usually in the front. I'm the one that'll tell you like about the loaning, the lending, if you need a loan, you can come to me, stuff like that.
Okay, how long have you been doing that?
About 11 years now.
11 years. And who have you been doing that for?
I've been doing it for JP Morgan.
JP Morgan?
Yep.
So is that the same JP Morgan today?
Yep.
Whew, boy, big company, eh?
Yeah.
So, you worked at JP Morgan. You're pretty skilled.
Yep.
Sounds like you were the man to talk to when you came into the bank. If I needed loans or something like that, or I want to start a business, I need a little bit of cash. You were the guy I talked to.
100%.
Okay, so with that, then I'm sure you made pretty good money. What would you say you made bi-weekly?
I used to make about $28.
$28.
Yeah.
Boy, I guess, and that was good money. And around in the late 1800s, that was decent money.
100% for
100%?
bi-weekly, yeah.
And then, so rumor has it, Mr. Morgan, not so.
Yeah, he cut the prices. He cut the salaries of everybody. I used to go from ballin' to fallen.
Ballin' to fallen.
Yeah, I make 13 a week. 13 every other week now.
At 13.
Yeah.
Bi-weekly.
Yep.
So, do you think that's a permanent?
I'm not sure how long it's gonna be. Hopefully, not really too long.
Are you married, Mr. Richard?
Yeah, I have 3 kids.
3 kids. 2 dicks in his name. 3 kids. So, wife?
Yep.
Now, big house, I'm guessing, because you're making good money.
I was. We may have to move out soon.
That's what I wondered. So now, how does that go as far as, with the family? Like, do you look into going into other enterprises? Is there anything going on in the company that makes you, like, is anyone trying to get together? Trying to talk to the government? Like, what do we do about this?
We're not sure why it's all, like, cutting down. Maybe, like, it's fatigue, something like that. I plan on moving down maybe like a 3 or 2 bedroom apartment, if that.
Will that be enough for you and your family?
I'm not sure. Hopefully.
Now, why do you believe Mr. Morgan has a hand to do with this? Like, what makes you think that he's solely responsible? It's not economy. It's like you think this is solely something he's doing deliberately, or is it something like because he's worried about losing money, or what do you think the reason is for this?
Not to be like an NPC or anything.
Right,
but,
of course.
like,
we know what that is.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make a joke there, Mr. Richard. As you were saying, not to be an NPC there.
Yeah. I felt like it's always been the same since 11 years. So I don't know why all of a sudden Morgan has to, take the money and stuff like that.
Does he seem like a guy who needs the money?
I don't know. He's had that type of stuff in the past. He's had like money problems. So,
money problem?
Yeah.
Can you tell me more about this Morgan guy? Like, because, obviously this interview is made possible with recent technology. You're from the late 1800s. It's not 1800s where I'm from. So I never got the privilege of meeting Mr. Morgan or being around him. He's been long gone. So all we have is just the name. Today, in today's economy, JP Morgan is a very prestigious, it's a credible name. And so what you're trying to say is maybe he wasn't the best person or wasn't the best business person there was, or was a little more ruthless than what people believe he was. Can you explain that? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I had a team meeting recently, and everybody it wasn't just me, it was everybody that was having the money problem. Their salary was getting cut down. Like, even some of the people that didn't have money, like that had a lot lower money than me, like people had from like the ones that just started from 14 every other week to like 6 every other week. So I was just wondering like how that was even possible and stuff like that. And so we were talking about like how Morgan has like something, I wasn't too like into it, but it was, I think it was called Morganization, something like that. It was like,
Oh, yeah, that's a term I've heard of. Yeah.
yeah, it's weird. Like he,
I I know what that term means, but can you explain it for the viewers who might not understand what organization means, please?
Morganization's like the almost reconstruction of like different like buildings, almost like companies and uh organizations, so that one company that's doing it can become more powerful.
Oh, so it's like where he's merging companies together to make one bigger company to just
Yeah.
eliminate other ones and stream,
Yes.
and then so I'm sure he gets a lot of money out of that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And then to keep his profits high, he cuts wages.
Yes.
Now, with the wage cutting, is the hours the same, or are you expected to work longer hours, harder hours? Is there more of a workload? Because it sounds like if you're adding more companies, it sounds like your workload's going to increase because now you
Yeah.
just went from 500 customers to 1,500 customers because 3 banks merged.
Yeah, cause I started like working from like 6 hours. Now I'm working like 14
A day?
a day.
Ooh, okay. That sucks.
Yeah.
It's a new age term we use. I don't know if that's something you guys had back in the 1800s.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, of course you don't. So, do you think you'll stay, or do you think you'll try to find work elsewhere, new industry? Like, is there potential for you to go on your own, or are you afraid you're just going to get squashed by this multi-millionaire person who just seems to have all this power? He can just buy banks.
I feel like there's no other choice to, because again, like Morgan taking all the companies, there's nowhere else to go that
Right.
pays really good, because it's hard to find any other job that even pays enough to buy for 14 an hour.
Yeah, that's 14 a day. It's very low. I can't imagine because we look at in today's climate where we're at. I don't know if you're familiar with this. People want to increase their minimum wage from like $7 to $15. Get this, an hour.
An hour?
An hour. So based on the inflation numbers you're talking, if you were making $14 a day, that's the equivalent to someone roughly making like a little over $200 a week. So $500 bi-weekly, around $1,000 a month, a little over $1,000 a month. In this day and age, though, rent for like you say you want a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
Where we're at today, rent for a 2-bedroom apartment's probably going to cost you around $1,200 to $1,400 a month. So you wouldn't even make enough to cover your rent today. So just to put that in perspective for you of how money has grossly changed since the 1800s.
Wow.
Yeah. So, well, I tell you what, I hope, I really hope my boss doesn't ever do that to me. That would really suck.
Don't you work for yourself?
Anywho, well, this has been another episode of the Gilded Ages. Again, I've been hosting McHostface, and you've got the pleasure of talking with and understanding our illustrious guest here, Mr. Richard John Dick Grayson. And we hope you really enjoyed learning a little bit more about the 1800s and the real J.P. Morgan that I guess we don't really hear much about today. We see the commercials on TV, and it seems like a credible and notable bank, but we don't understand the lives that this person potentially ruined out of greed and just power. Do you have anything you want to add to that on your way out?
All I gotta say is, it sucks, man. Hopefully this won't last as long, and hopefully Morgan won't, at least the Morgan company that you say you have today, hopefully he won't do that to any of you guys that make hourly like 14 or whatever. not much.
Right, yeah.
And hopefully to whoever like is working at that company, hopefully if you do have the chance to get out of that job, just try.
Well, I'll tell you this. You said you're from around 1897, 1900s?
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you this. Get ready. In 30 years, it's gonna suck. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in for another episode of the Gilded Ages. And we hope you tune in next time where we talk to Cleopatra. I don't even know. Had nothing to do with gilded. I think it's something with their armor is gilded. I don't know. We'll see you next time.